Hello everyone and welcome to Kaladesh draft number 1, the video for which will begin momentarily. But before we get to the draft, there are a couple orders of business. The first of these is the announcement of the person who won the Kaladesh draft giveaway. The winner of this giveaway will win all the packs that are won in this draft video, and they will also win all the cards that I draft. The winner of that giveaway was Alva Roberts. So congratulations to you. To those of you who didn't win, you'll have another shot for Aether Revolt and all other future Magic sets. Also, right now I'm running my 2,000 subscriber giveaway. So if you haven't entered that, don't forget to enter that, as it'll give you another chance to win a bunch of cool stuff, including a Needs to Hone Magic playmat, an EDH deck on Magic Online, things like that. One more thing before the draft to remind you of, my content, along with a lot of other great MTG content, can be found on 5colorcombo.com. On top of their awesome content on their website, they also have a store where you can buy various items, including some sweet custom tokens. If you use the code NEEDSTOHONE5, you can get 5% off your order there as a subscriber to my channel. You can find the link in the description. Now, let's start the draft. Hey everyone, it is Monday, so it's time for my weekly draft video. That means this week we're doing Kaladesh, and as was just noted in the short thing before this, the winner of the drawing will be receiving all the cards drafted and all packs won as well. So this pack gave us Gira per Orrery. You don't want to be first picking that. The cards I'm looking at the most here are Wispweaver Angel, Die Young, or Malfunction. And that's really about it. Wispweaver Angel is pretty strong. There's enough synergies in the format that you don't even have to end up being a deck that has a lot of enter the battlefield triggers for it to be good. It also blows up things like Malfunction, basically, if they're attached to your creatures. Die Young's okay, but I think I'd rather have Wispweaver Angel over it. And Malfunction's good too, but we're going to take Wispweaver. See where things take us. Oh, Metalwork Colossus. You can build around that. That would be interesting. Servant of the Conduit is a really good card, but Harness Lightning's better than anything else in this pack. Aether Meltdown's good. Renegade Freighter is also good, but I like Harness Lightning more. I think Renegade Freighter is probably like the third best card, the second best card in this pack, then Meltdown. Yeah, we'll take Harness Lightning. Okay, well, if we're building sort of an aggressive deck, Malphus Doorbuster is pretty good. It's also a Tidy Conclusion. It's also a Gilt Sleeve Artisan. I think Gilt Sleeve Artisan is probably just better than Malphus Doorbuster, even though the Doorbuster has a little bit of synergy. I like what the Artisan does. It also works okay with Wispweaver Angel. Nothing super exciting, but, you know, an extra servo is a good deal. So, Glint Sleeve Artisan it is. Glint Sleeve Artisan number 2. Yeah, okay. I'll take it. Either Trade Winds is worth looking at. If we ended up like blue-white, it would at least be worth looking at because there's lots of enter the battlefield triggers. But for now, I think we just take the card that's the most powerful in a vacuum in this pack, and I think that's Glint Sleeve Artisan. Harness Lightning does like for us to have some more ways of making energy, but it's pretty easy to pick up a couple like incidental ways of making energy in this format. It's not exactly hard. It's hard to draft a deck that's just like loaded with energy, but it's also doable, so it's not impossible. Okay, so what we're seeing here is interesting. Gear Seeker Serpent's really good. Incendiary Sabotage has the potential to be good, though you do have to sort of build around it. And the third Glint Sleeve Artisan's also really good. I think I just take the third Glint Sleeve Artisan. I think Gear Seeker Serpent's worth looking at, but a third Glint Sleeve Artisan is really good, and we'll take it. We're already up to 3 Artificers, so if we see any Inventor's Goggles, they're obviously like extra good in our particular deck. So, yeah. And they all work with Wispweaver, you know. Playing 6 for a 4/4 flyer and a 1/1 servo is basically what you end up doing, and that's a pretty good deal. White seems pretty open to me. It's always harder to read signals in the early stages of the format. I'm drafting this the day after it came out on Magic Online, so I've drafted about 3 times, so I kind of am getting a feel. Ooh, well, Chandra's Pyro Helix, I feel, is pretty unequivocally a good signal that red's open, and I think I'll take it. It's a pretty late one to be there. Nimble Innovator is good as well, especially with like Wispweaver, but I think that's a little too cute, and we'd rather just take the powerful card. Well, Unlicensed Disintegration, huh? It's a pretty good indicator that black Red is open, as strong as the card is, but I don't think we really want to abandon white if we can help it. We may end up in a pretty aggressive deck, in which case Trusty Companion's fine, and Built to Last is also fine. It's worth noting there's vehicles. We're going to have pilots in these colors more than any other color, and vehicles are really good with Built to Last. So it's either Trusty Companion or Built to Last. This is obviously the best card in the pack, though, but I could also think about the Etherborn, but I think I'm going to take the Companion. Okay, a late self-assembler doesn't seem like a terrible thing to pick up, but there's also a Thriving Grubs, and our deck these colors are about being aggressive, basically, and I think that's what we want to do. Also gives us some more energy for Harness Lightning. Also has us cut the only good red card out of here. Seed Sculptor's good, and Self-Assembler's fine, but you do need to get at least 2. Tidy Conclusion's probably the best card in this pack in a vacuum, but we're going to go for the Grubs here. Okay, Inventor's Goggles. That's the card I mentioned that we wouldn't mind having, and we still only have 3 Artificers, but that's plenty, and it's a solid card. So is the Aetherborn, but we'll take the Goggles here. So Built to Smash seems like it could be pretty good in our deck if our deck ends up being aggressive. These are the 2 colors that can draft the most aggressive curve, I think. I mean, I guess we'll take this on the off chance we desperately need another 3-drop or an artifact or something. Maybe we end up with a way to produce black occasionally that makes it a little more worth playing, but I kind of doubt it. I do kind of doubt it. I mean, this is actually even pretty good on on servos. So Workshop Assistant, no thanks. Hijack, maybe, if our deck's aggressive enough. There's lots of good 2s, and a few good 1s even that I wouldn't mind getting in this deck the way it's shaking out. Take away Failed Inspection. And Tezzeret's Ambition. I think the Ambition is way better than Inspection, so I'm surprised it was still there, but... Scrap Heap Scrounger is a pretty good card. You do have to be in black for it to be worth playing, though. Furious Reprisal is also pretty good. Aviary Mechanic's a card we wouldn't mind having. It's a nice 2-drop who has some synergy with our Artisans and so forth. Longfin Skywhale is really good. This pack is a hard one to know what I would have first picked. I do think Scrap Heap Scrounger is worth a little something, but I don't know that it will be by the time these prizes are distributed. Actually, it's worth $4, so that's interesting. Why won't you go away? Anyway, I guess I'll ignore that for now. But it is worth $4, and that's pretty relevant. I mean, we do have to have black for it to be worth playing, but the person who entered the drawing and won the drawing probably would like to win a Scrap Heap Scrounger more than like a Furious Reprisal. But the question is, do I have more of a chance of winning more packs for the person if I take Furious Reprisal? The answer is probably yes. I mean, 2-mana 3/2 that can't block isn't the worst card ever in a deck without black in it, but it's not great either. Yeah, I'll take the Scrounger for the winner. And I mean, we'll play it, most likely. It is an artifact after all. But yeah, I don't love it. Oh, Glint Sleeve Artisan number 4? Am I a little too high on Glint Sleeve Artisan? I don't know, but I don't feel bad about having 4 of them. Fateful Showdown is an interesting card, and I think I would reasonably pick it up in the middle of a pack. But most of the time what it's going to do is you'll discard 2 extra lands to do 2 damage to something and draw 2 cards. Not too bad, but not incredible either. But yeah, we'll take a 4th Glint Sleeve Artisan, I suppose. Fretwork Colony is a great card in an aggressive deck, but that doesn't look to be in our colors. Okay, this card's pretty great. The rare here isn't so much. I think I'd probably take Eddy Trailhawk. Yeah. Yep. That we do. Gives us a 2-drop, which we need. Ooh. Man, white, it's pretty open if you're getting an aerial responder that late. Yeah, we'll take it. Wouldn't mind Spark of Creativity Wheeling. I think it's a fine card to run one of a lot of the time. As long as you make sure you haven't played your land for the turn. Worst case scenario is it's 1 mana draw a card, but it's 1 mana that can also sometimes do some damage. You have to have a target with like 2 or less toughness for it to be effective, but for 1 mana, that's not that hard to do. Wow, do I want another Glint Sleeve Artisan? Or, I think I might. I don't know. How many Glint Sleeve Artisans is too many? You know? We're getting to the point where we have so many of them that taking Inspired Charge isn't the worst idea ever, especially as aggressive as our deck is looking anyway. Ninth Bridge Patrol and Sky Squirrel Harry are fine. Reckless Fireweaver is also fine, but I think I'm going to take a 5th Glint Sleeve Artisan because I'm insane. Maybe. No, I don't think I am. I think that's right. Well, here we're kind of punished for, I mean, there's not much for us. Gear Per Guide's a fine card. Ruinous Gremlin's a fine sideboard card. Wayward Giant's an okay finisher, so it's probably just who I take. Question is the Mastodon better? I think it might be just because it's likely we pick up some cards that care about artifacts. We already have one, actually, so yeah, we'll take the Mastodon. I don't love the Mastodon, certainly, but it's all right. It is all right. This probably isn't making our deck. This will, because at least it's still 2 mana, 3/2, but... And if it doesn't, at least the person who won the drawing gets some value. Some value. Because so far I didn't open anything else good. Except that. So Hijack's probably going to be okay in our deck. Ooh, Voltaic Brawler. Why are you Voltaic Brawler and not a card, not the gold card for me? I don't think I want to... Well, I didn't take a Wayward Giant, I guess. Maybe I'd take one over Acrobatic Maneuver. But we do have 5 Glint Sleeve Artisans with Enter the Battlefield triggers, an Eddy Trailhawk with one, and a Wispweaver Angel with one. So I think Acrobatic Maneuver is probably a reasonable pick here. It's also good against cards like Malfunction, which there are a lot of. So I'll take the Maneuver. We definitely need some more 2-drops. I mean, we have some at least. But I think we do want more. I think we want to be a little more aggressive. You know, I could see us sort of shifting away from red altogether, potentially. Although I guess our best removal is red, because red doesn't seem to be incredibly open. Salvaging... White's definitely, like, stupid open. Like, we've proven that with our 5 Glint Sleeve Artisans over here. But other than that, I'm not sure. I like Thriving Ibex, but I think we kind of need a 2-drop a little more. We do have creatures who, if we can make them fly, we feel pretty good about, like Scrap Heap, Scrounger, and Bastion Mastodon. And we'll probably pick up some more. So I think we take the Eddy Trailhawk here over the Ibex. I don't know if that's usually right, but we need some 2-drops pretty badly. Another Acrobatic Maneuver or card for the sideboard. I think I'm leaning towards the Maneuver. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Do we take another Pillbug? I mean, I guess we could end up playing black, as dried up as red seems to be in a lot of ways. Problem is we have no removal really in white, right? No. So that's not exactly good. But I think we do take this, because if we end up in black, it's a fine card. Demolish is an okay sideboard card. Okay, I will take a late Spark of Creativity, though. I'll take this, and I'll take that for the old sideboard. All right. So, dwarves. Maybe we'll open up Depala here. She would be pretty good in our deck. We have a lot of dwarves. I don't have any vehicles yet, sadly, but Madcap Experiment is not exactly a card for limited. It's good. It can be combo in modern with Platinum Empyreon, pretty interestingly. But so Fairgrounds Warden's really good, and so is Revoke Privileges. I'm sad that we have both in the same pack. I think the Warden is marginally better, even though the Warden, if it dies, obviously they get their creature back. Brazen Scourge is a nice red card here, but I think we take the Fairgrounds Warden over Revoke Privileges. Another Wispweaver Angel, a Malphus Doorbuster, who's nice. Probably just another Wispweaver Angel, unless there's something I'm missing here. Reckless Fireweaver would be fine, but I'm pretty happy with just another Wispweaver. Ooh, Visionary Augmenter. Hello. Another Chandra's Pyrohelix, though. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm not completely sold on playing red, even though that's where all our removal is. So maybe I should be sold on it. And the Augmenter is a very good card. Is it better than Chandra's Pyrohelix? I think it might not be. There's also a Propeller Pioneer, which I wouldn't mind picking up for the deck either. Is Augmenter better than Pyrohelix? Could be. God, we do need to start picking up things that pump our whole team, because especially if we take this Augmenter, our deck is capable of going so wide, it's kind of silly. Pyrohelix or Augmenter. Pioneer's sort of in the discussion, but I think it's between these two. I think I'm going to take the Pyrohelix. We're in need of removal. As much as it would have been fun to have like yet another Dwarf Artificer making servo tokens, I need the red. You know, I needed that. I needed it. So probably don't play two of these. The blink effects aren't terrible with him either, because you can switch to taking down a more problematic creature instead of whatever. Ooh, Essence Extraction. God, maybe black is the one I should be in. Could just take a third Chandra's Pyrohelix. We could take a Built to Smash. We could take a Sky Skiff. We don't have any vehicles yet, and our deck can utilize Sky Skiff pretty effectively. Sky Swirl Harrier is a nice little late game card, but I think Whisperer Angel's better. It probably is better than our Bastion Mastodon, but Sky Skiff or Chandra's Pyrohelix, another Chandra's Pyrohelix. I mean, the card's good, don't get me wrong, but I've been a little underwhelmed with it. There's a lot of creatures in this format that are just too big for it. Just look at our deck for an example, but it can still kill a lot. Would I rather have it than a Sky Skiff? Yeah, probably. Let's do it. That's kind of silly. Well, impeccable timing is something we need in general and in this draft, I guess. It gives us another removal spell. We do have, I guess, 4 good, 5 good even early game removal spells that are less conditional, though. So maybe I should just go for the Fire Weaver, who will be weaving a lot of fire, or the Ninth Bridge Patrol. I mean, I don't have a ton of like straight up artifacts, but I have cards that make artifacts. I have at least 5 of those, right? So I have 7 artifacts, but... So do I just want the more sort of aggressive creature that will work well with these blink effects on our... Yeah. I think I want the Fire Weaver a little more. Start your engines. No thank you. We will take a Fragmentize. I even think it's main boardable. Another Acrobatic Maneuver in the puzzle not aren't really things I'm interested in. Servo Exhibition is. Could take another Fire Weaver, but I think I just go with Servo Exhibition. Where is Inspired Charge? Someone else must be in the Go Wide deck, the more Go Widey deck. But we wouldn't mind playing one in this deck at all, I don't think. So 3 Pyrohelixes. Herald of the Fair. Yeah, all right. Don't know if you're going to make the cut. Like, are you better than any of my 3-drops? Maybe you're better than Acrobatic Maneuver. Salivating Gremlin seems pretty good in our deck, thanks to the Fabricate. Reckless Fireweaver. We could have had 3 of those. Okay. Giant Spectacle. Built to Smash. I didn't end up with any vehicles, sadly. We had a chance at a Sky Skiff, but that was about it. The Scrounger might not actually make our deck in the end. We do have a lot of better 2-drops going on here. I guess I'll take one of these. Do we want Bastion Mastodon? I don't know if we do. Might not want Spark Creativity, even though I think it's playable. I think our deck ended up with better playable, like, early game removal spells in it. And we can cut our non-foil Fire Weaver. Yeah, we didn't get any Inspired Charges. I may have missed a few because I kind of forgot I kind of wanted them, but that's probably okay. I think our deck's looking pretty nice. I could see an argument to take out the Fire Weaver, but it is an Artificer, so that part's nice. We got lots of 2s, lots of 3s, no 4s, and 1 5 and 2 6s. And I think that's where we want to be with this deck. We can blow small creatures out of the way and just bash into our opponent with all of our guys. So that seems pretty good. Eddie Trailhawk plus like Salivating Gremlins or Bastion Mastodon could be nice. Although the Mastodon is worth thinking about cutting too, just because he's on the higher end of our curve. And we just go 2 Wisp Weaver Angels at the top. Although I think I'd rather have a Bastion Mastodon than a Herald of the Fair. It's kind of like a middling, unexciting 3-drop. Our other 3-drops are all a lot better. So yeah, that's what we'll do. So sort by color. Bastion Mastodon sort of is white. And yeah, so white was really open. Red was enough open that we got 3 Chandra's Pyrohelixes, but it's where a lot of our removal is. I think 10-7 is probably reasonable. Yeah. All right, this will be the deck. We shall try to be an aggressive deck that just beats our opponent before they can play their big creatures. So we'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the first round. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.